I'll just do original. Well, because it took 2 hours and like 50 minutes to load that one in black and white, So it doesn't seem to. And then 4 days ago or so, we loaded all of them real quick, and they were all about 7 minutes. And then one day it takes half the day to load them and stuff like that. So I don't try to figure out a goddamn thing. Sorry, excuse my language. Didn't mean to say that. A damn thing. I'm not worried about a doggone thing. So I don't try to figure out anything with these assholes in this valley. Okay. That are just assholes. Okay. Now they'll get on about me, the relationship with me and my father. Okay. My dad will talk to Jesus all day. Okay. All day. I'll go over and talk to him about he's been talking about it. I didn't want to hear that. I don't want to talk. Don't talk to me about that. And you want to yell at him, well, then stop talking to Jesus. Shut the hell up. Talk to yourself. Because that's all you ever fucking listen to. That's what you want to say. But do you explain to him, you're being abused by the scientists that are abusing me? Okay. You don't have an ego problem, Dad, as much as you think. The people that have an ego problem, I keep telling them, the people that have the ego problem are the people that are fucking us with the technology in our heads. Okay. And then you got an ego problem. He always tells me that too. The day we went to dinner, we were sitting there talking about stuff, and I said that, and he goes, what about you and your ego problem? And I'm like, do you ever ask yourself that question? I'm sure Mom would have loved it if you asked yourself that question in front of her. Okay, do you understand? You want to say things like that. Because, we've known each other for, I'm going to be 59 in July. Okay. And when my dad got in his moods, because he was abused when he was younger and he could be abusive. Okay. He was horrible to my mom. Okay. And my mom wasn't abused by her mother, but my grandmother died of a brain tumor when my mom was 10 years old, and then had to spend 10 to high school being raised by the help, because my grandfather married an alcoholic atheist named Olive, who was just as mean and shitty as he was. She went from having this sweet German lady who loved Jesus and thought, he's a good man. He's a good man. And every time something went wrong, she would talk to him about Jesus, and he'd go through PTSD and beat her. But she was an immigrant that needed to be taken care of because of money, right? And so science, this new technology, AI, it's not giving us anything any better than the Lord's Prayer. It's never going to until it shares the Lord's Prayer. Okay? We still have prostitution, drug addiction, insurance fraud, embezzlement. Okay? You can legally be an abomination and declare it the law because a bunch of idiots that are manipulated into believing money is real agree to it. All right. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Right. And I try to explain to my dad many times, because he says, Jesus is omnipotent and omnipotent. So you want to sit and watch. He's never been to Fort Huachuca, where the people at Fort Huachuca monitor people's digital cameras and watch them give their daughters date rape drugs, and then digitally record themselves sexually assaulting their own daughters. But the people in the military, they're supposed to be our first responders and heroes, can't do anything about it because it's not in the interest of national security, and it would let really bad people know the capability of our technology to protect our money, our corporate interest, our capacity to manipulate people sexually with money and technology. Okay. So technology isn't getting any better. Okay. The reason why it's getting worse is because it is being used to engage in selfish, narcissistic, disgusting lie. So you can't tell Mark Zuckerberg he's a good person because he's not. You can't tell Jeff Bezos he's being a good guy because he's being Ronald Reagan's fart. And Jeff knows it because life is eternal and grace is infinite. Okay. And I'd love for Jeff to go, son of a fucking bitch, he's right. And then meet Jeff tomorrow. Okay. And if Mark could do that, I'd love to meet his kids and see if, less fencing, Okay, more snuggles. Okay, there you go. You guys are cute. Oh my gosh, you've grown, right? Things like that. You like that, you know? You know what I'm saying? Last night I was sitting there doing some stuff with ASU on my Xbox to connect to ASU. And because that's where I went to school and became disillusioned because after all this good stuff I was learning in school, my senior year, they said, okay, here, all that stuff you learned in school, fuck it, because it's all about making money, like the President Siebert or whatever jokes about on Big Bang Theory. It's all about making money. But money's not real, and it's what assholes use to manipulate idiots into genocide. And okay, positions of wealth and power and authority, okay, and sex icons and goddesses and gods, and ooh, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Now I admit, Tupac Shakur was a good kid, okay, and I've had some prayers with him, and I like him. Okay, they had a kid today. I think his name was Money Williams for Montana, who's a lot of people in his family have passed away, and he says he talks to them every day. It's like you talk to their memory. You're not talking to them every day because they didn't talk to you every day the way that you're talking to them. You're just having conversations that you would have had if they were still with you. It's just a place to hide because of all the abuse. And I understand because we all do it. I want to talk to Keith Elam more, but I can't because he is aware of the 1322nd Redeemer. He was just too busy. He had never no time to play, got to make moves, right? I want to talk to Michelle Bowen more, but she was too busy to sit down and talk to Jesus, the real spirit of Jesus all the time. Okay. My dad does it all the time, but I don't listen to him half the time because he spends more time telling Jesus what to do than he does listening to what Jesus told him to do. So I just tune him out. And Suzuki, quit badgering the witness. Well, me and Jesus want him to listen, but he's not going to. My mom wanted him to listen. He never really listened to her. And that ain't no way to treat a lady, right? So if you want somebody to listen to you, Oprah Winfrey, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Angie Bassett, you're going to have to be capable of listening yourself, okay? Otherwise, that person is going to stand on your kitchen counter and take off their diaper and pee on it. Okay, do you guys understand? No more Capital One Bank. No more Magic Johnson balloons blocking dunks in the sky with a big flat, skinnier. Charles was a good ball player in his day. Yeah, I enjoyed watching Charles play in Phoenix, and he was really good. Is he as good as me? Oh, hell no. I'd have whooped his ass. Mike Dirtwood whipped his ass too. I was quicker, I was faster, and I could jump higher than all these guys, even the guys today. All right. None of them, I think, have ever had a time where they were 15 years old and jumped 64 inches in the air. None of them ever where they would have broke a 4 flat 40. And I was quicker than lickety split because I could do all the rest of that stuff. No, and I was very humble and I was very unselfish and I was very kind. And I held myself back because I didn't like to embarrass people and make them feel inadequate like I do now. Okay? But you have to kick arrogant, egotistical, money-grubbing, hoe-cake, motherfucking factory asshole into humility so they can love and be loved in return. Okay, nature boys and girls? All right, love you. Let's see how 2-3 hours this takes to load, because we're in Verizon Central of Las Cruces, New Mexico, with T-Mobile, and the technology is so good. If it's so good, why can't it share the Lord's Prayer around the world in one day?